Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm putting recessed can lights in my ceiling for my kitchen. If you haven't watched the last 3 that I recorded, well, go watch them or you're not going to know what's going on. Okay, so this magnet here is on a nail head in a joist. This magnet here is on a nail head in a joist. That is the ideal center point for this light, and it can't go there. Now I have over here my vent hood and my cooktop, and my lights do have a gimbal so they can be angled slightly. I'll set that back over there and hope the angle didn't change too much. But if you watch the other ones, you know this. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm just having fun. Okay, and I do have the power cut off to this room. Okay, so I need to get all the way over to the other side of that, and I need to bring the depth in some, because I want to get more like 9 inches, more like here actually than here. Gosh, I hope I'm doing that right, because I already drilled one hole, and well, there's no going back once you drilled the hole. Look, there's the proof. Okay. I'm really glad my wife's not here right now. Okie dokie. We need to mark our new projection point, which I'm just using tape. By the way, I used a laser level line maker thingamabobber to do all of the layout on this previously. So I know I'm in the centers and on all the things and whatever. See if there's somewhere else that wants to attach up there. I don't have to worry about that. There it is. There's one. Okay, so my center is there. That's centered on that cabinet right there. So I put another piece of tape up there so I can adjust it in, because I've decided it needs to be a little further in as I've done my testing with my lights. So I hope I'm not screwing this up. I think my wife said it needed to be in. So I'm just butting that up. It's got a square end. I'm butting it up. I'm putting it against my line, and I'm going back to about 9 inches instead of here at 12. And saying that should still be in the line, because this was in the line, it was lined up with the blah, blah, blah. And now I need it to go that way by as much as the rafter, joist, I don't know, it's both. It supports a ceiling above or a ceiling below, this one, and a roof above. So I'm not really sure what you call that, but it's in my way for perfect placement. It's the only one that's in the way for perfect placement. Everything else I could put wherever I wanted. Oh well. So I'm just going to use my stud finder here and come along. So I should hit it there, which I just did. And there it says is the center, which is lined up with the screws I found. And it says I have hit the edge of it by here. So we'll drop a little dot there, right there. And then I'll double check my depth from the crown molding, which is off by, we'll say, 1.5 centimeters, which I don't know what is in freedom units. There we go. I'm a Texan, born and raised, but you know, centimeters are on the other side of it, and they're the side that are closer to the ceiling, and so they're the ones I'm having to use. Not to mention they're a lot closer together, and in this situation, they're a little more useful. So now, that should be the edge of my joist. And there's not a lot of forgiveness with these lights. The trim on them is like that. So if I screw up my hole by that much, well, it's screwed up. So I'm gonna punch my handy dandy little flathead screwdriver of itty bitty dimensions. Oh yeah, so I felt it hit the joist on this side and bounce over to the right a little bit. So that ought to be pretty good. If that's the edge, I just need to come out to the center and where's my center gonna be? It's gonna be, gosh, I hope I put these in the right spot. You know, I didn't actually like hold it up there today and measure, or at any point measure to make sure I was putting these in the right spot. I've done it so much over the last 2 weeks that I kind of feel like I don't need to, but that's when you start drilling Swiss cheese in your ceiling and find out you really put them too close. We'll see. Okay, there's that one. That's the outside edge. I need to come in however much that is. It should be 1.5 inches, so that's handy. Yeah, should work like that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we can move it this way all we want, but this way we hit resistance immediately. But that's perfect, that's what we want. So we're gonna come over 1.5 inches from there. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just punch that, we'll hold that up there. Relative dimensioning. You can tell I'm a woodworker and not a whatever doesn't use relative dimensioning. I think just a hair more. In woodworking, you know, they say measure twice, cut once. I say lay the piece you need down, put the other piece up against it, and make your cut. Oh, that won't make sense. Anyway, isn't it a good thing I like to talk so much when no one's around to hear me? Nobody's around to talk back to me. And I just get to do this because whatever, I feel like it. That was a little off, just a little off, we're gonna say it was. We're gonna say it was 1.5 centimeters off, kind of like the other one, except 1.5 centimeters in the other direction. Now, we're gonna put our template back up there, we're gonna punch a hole at the right spot, we're gonna punch holes at the corners and see where we're at. So, this one, you know, 1.5 centimeters probably does not matter at all, unless I hit that joist because of it. Okay, so that's the edge of the hole there. We'll just hold that in place, and we'll mark a little edge there, a little edge there. We've already got a hole over there, a little edge there. And then we'll punch this all the way through and make sure we don't hit anything. Nothing. 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 And I was already at nothing here. So very cool, very cool. Let's grab our hole saw and do the one here and see if we screw anything up. Ever since I bought this house 3 years ago, I've needed to touch up so many places on this ceiling for various reasons. I'm gonna get off the ladder for this. And I cannot find paint that matches it. I've had various companies color match it, sheen match it. Nobody can actually do it. Nobody can get it right. And so I hit some resistance there. Hey, but we're out. So just a touch of a flap sitting back there. All the dust is in there. There's no dust. I'm not breathing any of it. That thing's amazing. Thing's amazing. I should have one in every size imaginable. Just pull this little piece of hole out. Should I just leave them up there for, you know, if I ever need to patch it and do something different? I don't have to hang on to them. And there is that joist. Boy, I got it just perfect. I'll see if I can show you this. So, here, I don't know if this is gonna see well. There it is, right there. Can you see that? Hopefully, because I can't see what you're seeing. So what else we got up there? Oh, there's our 220. There's our 220 for our electric oven. How about that? I can take a look up there now. So now I'm going to offset the one on the other side of the vent hood by that much from the center point. And this is the first one that I have to run to. So my Romex is running on this side of this joist. So it's going to run straight through here. It has to go through nothing before it gets here. Wonderful. So I'm going to grab my fish tape right over there, grab my Romex and right over here. I'll come back in a minute because no sense in you sitting here because I didn't bring my fish tape in. Thanks. Bye-bye. See you next time.